Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Children of the night, let's make some music together. Hello, final guys. What's up, final guys? We're here for horror talk. Hunter, Jason, what's shaking, bacon?
Hey, baby, just keeping out of trouble.
Drinking.
What do you got there, kid?
It is the Tropical Bitch by Flying Dog. It's a Belgian IPA.
It must be what, 8.5?
8.0.
Ooh, it's close.
It's not bad. It's pretty good.
I'm drinking Japanese coffee whiskey. It's delicious.
I am drinking my own boogers as I sit here allergic. It's delicious. My boogers are 6.7% alcohol by volume, so it's all right.
Excellent. Well, that actually is a great segue. Our main feature tonight is called The Wretched, which is what's coming out of Hunter Shea's nose and mouth right now.
Totally. I feel wretched, and the movie is wretched. No. Wretched.
Nurse Ratched.
That's what I kept thinking of watching the movie.
Don't you want to watch the World Series? Before we get to the main feature, though, we have to talk about the horror movies we watch. We got to do the news and all that kind of stuff. So, are you guys ready to dive into the podcast?
I'm diving.
I don't have anything to talk about, really.
Let's do it. All right, there's some actual news here, folks.
Really?
Actual news. There are 2 legitimate news stories and 1 filler. Do you want the filler first or last?
Let's get the filler out of the way.
Yeah.
The filler out of the way is, because I like to usually do 3 stories. There is a Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark sequel in the works from Paramount.
Oh, no.
Really? I didn't know the first one. Oh, it did do pretty well. That's right.
It set itself up for a sequel. I don't feel it needs a sequel. I guess if kids liked it and it's a way for kids to watch horror, yay. I don't see us using that as a featured film next time. It's more of a, oh, it's on Netflix now, I'll watch it kind of thing. But
it had some cool visuals, but man, that movie was just long.
It had some problems. Damn, it made $106 million.
Well, good for them.
That movie actually should have been an anthology instead of an anthology hidden in a single story.
I just didn't know what they were hitting for, where they were going with that. I'm like, is this for kids? Or is this for kids like adults who grew up liking this as kids? It was so tonally bizarre. But hey, whatever. Bring the horror on. Who's gonna want horror movies anyway after this last year? Next year might all be rom-coms. We might not see any horror movies.
Well, let me tell you something. Last night, I watched Citizen Kane for the first time in my life. It's been on my to-do list forever.
Wow.
You poor bastard.
I put it in early
Yeah.
while eating dinner. And then I glanced at my phone and I saw that the world was erupting. And I turned off the movie and for like 2 hours watched the chaos. And then I turned it off and went back to the movie. Needless to say, probably not the best mindset to watch a long, slow, black and white movie after that. So
boring.
Definitely not. I love that movie. It's not his best, but I love that movie.
Oh, that movie's so boring. It's genius in the way it was shot and everything, but dear God, that movie bores me to tears.
You know what movie I loved? Lawrence of Arabia.
I've actually never seen it.
Saw that in the theater in the Ziegfeld, which is now closed in New York, and took my wife, who was my girlfriend, as like, if you did this to a girl now, she'd leave you forever. Hey, you want to go see a 40-year-old movie with 2 hours, an intermission, and 2 more hours?
The thing about Citizen Kane, real quick, and Hunter, you're the exact same mindset as me, is watching Orson Welles as a thin, good-looking man. When to me, he was always this heavy-set guy doing like Ernest and Julio Gallo wine commercials and Hal Lindsey's The Late Great Planet Earth kind of movie. Like that's what he was to me. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, look at him.
I often go down rabbit holes of watching interviews of him in the 60s and 70s, and like especially Dick Cavett interviews with him. It's just a fascinating guy, man. He was.
His commercials were my favorite.
Ernest and Julio Gallo. We will sell no wine before it's time.
It's time.
It's time. It's wine time, bitches.
Time to feed me.
Feed me. I see that the drinking words have appeared.
Yes. So here we go, everybody. I know you're waiting. If we say these words, you must drink. So tonight we're going to watch Jack and Jason just get totally hammered before the curation's over. Jack, if you say kids, Wolfman, or salt, y'all got to take a drink. If I say acting, voyeur, drive. Jason, if you say dog, performance, or effects, and the bonus is forget, budget, and, oh, here's a good one, which. Which.
Now, I'm glad we got those drinking words out of the way because the next piece of news concerns the Wolfman.
I had a feeling.
The Wolfman?
The Wolfman.
Yeah, does wolf count?
Wolfman versus Wolf Cop.
Universal's bringing back the Wolfman. So in a recent episode of Monster Men, somebody asked us a question of which Universal monster would we want to bring back or do a remake like the Invisible Man.
Right.
And I said the Wolfman. The Wolfman.
They heard you.
They heard me. Ryan Dreamy Gosling is attached to star.
That will be interesting because there's a lot of pathos in that face and within that man.
I like him. So I'm down. Now I heard it's not in the article I have here, but I heard somebody say that he might play like a news anchor or something like that. And there might be sort of, remember that movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal? Where he was
oh my God,
sleazy.
that movie was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I heard one rumor that it might have a kind of, it might be channeling that kind of spirit.
Right.
Who knows? I'm looking for, after the home run they hit with Invisible Man, I'm now willing to, give everything a chance. And Ryan Gosling seems like he can do funny, he can do intense. So I'm looking forward to it.
And who is Universal doing this, or is
they've got a bunch of stuff.
There's the roadblock.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. Universal. The other movies I've mentioned this before. So Paul Feig is doing something called Dark Army, which he said his inspiration for that was Bride of Frankenstein.
Barf.
Is he going to get like all the little people in the glass jars and stuff? That would be kind of cool.
Dexter Fletcher is doing Renfield. There's a movie called Monster Mash, and Elizabeth Banks is doing something called The Invisible Woman. And James Wan is reportedly producing a new take on Frankenstein.
Okay.
I think her Blumhouse thing is a good point. Is Invisible Man had the Blumhouse thing going for it. However, Blumhouse did Fantasy Island, so
hey,
maybe we should say is Lee Winnell doing it since
Yes.
he directed The Invisible Man.
Yeah, that Fantasy Island, man, oh man.
So when do you think Russell Crowe shows up?
Oh my, and his basement of curiosities,
Where he gives himself the shot at the last second every time.
oh my God, just that Mummy movie was amazing. Absolutely, just mind blowing.
Garbage. Speaking of Lee Winnell, Lee Winnell's Upgrade is going to become a TV show, which is a series that is a sequel to the movie. So it's in the same world continuity, but it's going to pick up as a TV series. Blumhouse has I guess they have an agreement with NBC Universal, so it's going to come out through that. Upgrade, the TV series, will detail an evolved version of STEM with a new host in imagining a world in which the government repurposes STEM to help curb criminal activity.
Huh.
There's a pretty decent universe in there to be able to do something. So I like that it's a sequel. That has me a little interested. We don't have to see the same story again for the first season or whatever.
I almost guarantee you STEM's going to have a ulterior motive.
Yeah.
I hope they put STEM in a car and the car talks and a guy drives around in the car and they solve crimes.
Hello, Michael. I hope it's less convoluted than Westworld, because Westworld's got a lot of Venn diagram. Oh, we cover that kind of stuff too, artificial intelligence, this and that. But my God, Westworld got so convoluted that you can't watch that show without watching explainer videos afterwards
Oh,
to make sure you.
I stopped mid-season 2. I was
this
just
is
like,
why I never started.
dude, the first season's so good, but the second season was not. Happens to the best of us.
All right, that's all the news. Unless you have anything funny to say about anything I just said.
Never.
Oh, I like Better Bobcat 151 said, I'd rather watch Gay Bigfoot Part 2, and I love Tom Cruise.
Solid.
Put that on a t-shirt. Oh, I love these people.
All right, let's get to what we watched this week.
We have such sights to show you.
We have such sights to show you.
We sure do.
I don't, but
Jason, you got to go first because we need the update on the franchise update.
Yeah, we're dying. We're waiting on with bated breath here.
yeah, I do not have many sights to show you this week, at least not with these first two films. So I watched Children of the Corn 7, which is called Revelation for some reason.
Of course it is. It's biblical.
Yeah.
It's a revelation.
This is probably the worst one. I don't know. They're starting to blend. A woman goes into a city looking for her grandmother who disappeared, who started living in a not an abandoned building, a condemned building. And there are kids outside raising corn, and they start killing people in the building. But there are no real death scenes or gore, or just not much happens.
Oh, good Lord.
That's Children of the Corn 7 Revelation.
And that's all you have to say?
Do not ever watch this one.
That's enough for me.
Seriously, this one was a slog. I've been trying really hard not to look at my phone or do something else while watching these. This one was tough. Just not much happens.
Was it short at least?
So the good news is most of these have been about an hour 20. So
all right. So
let me ask you a
total
question.
time suck.
Let me ask you a question, because a long time ago, Netflix had a documentary about General Tso's chicken.
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah, you learn all about General Tso's chicken. You actually see General Tso and all that. So the night I watched it, I actually got General Tso's chicken and I ate it while I watched the documentary. And it was one of the great nights of my life. And it was also a pretty good Twitter picture I had.
It's a life bereft of joy.
I feel
I'll
very
tell you,
bad for you.
probably top 5 nights of my life. So you equally have an opportunity here. Did you eat corn ever while watching a Children of the Corn movie?
I have not. I should for the last one. I'll get a corn on the cob.
What about popcorn?
Nope.
No,
I've been drinking a lot.
Go get like a bag of frozen Green Giant corn if you can't find the corn on the cob. But it is in season now, and you can make it in the microwave in like 2 minutes.
Corn mash whiskey.
I almost feel like I need to go find a local cornfield, take my box set DVD out, and burn it in the middle of the field, and record it and put it online.
I think that's a great idea.
Oh, god damn.
We could make that a Patreon thing and make a fortune off that.
Actually, that's a good idea. I like that. I just remembered Michael Ironside is in this. He's a priest who doesn't really say or do anything. So
continuing getting good actors in and just doing nothing with them.
Yeah, they're finding people who I'm guessing had whatever project they were signed up for was canceled, and they swoop in at the last second, offer him a little bit of cash for a day's work, and that's all I can figure.
Now his agent called up and said, Michael is dying to get into one of these corn movies. Can you got something for him?
He's all about the corn movies.
Children of the Corn 666 just changed the genre.
This might be changing your life.
This is rough, man. This is Hellraiser bad.
Mm.
Maybe worse.
All right, Hunter.
Oh, well, I went across the sea to Italy because
My
I
homeland.
loaded up a bunch of like Italian, because I traditionally don't like Italian horror movies. But I said, I'm going to just immerse myself and maybe learn something. So I watched Dario Argento's Phenomena.
Beep, 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 beep,
Ooh.
Phenomena.
beep,
Now,
beep, beep, beep.
it stars a very young Jennifer Connelly. I assume she's about 14 in it. And of course, Dario tried to get some shots of side boob and stuff in there, as he always will. And also Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance.
This movie, I will tell you, it's long. It's just under 2 hours.
Jesus, really?
If you feel like you're going to bail, dear God, don't. Here, let me just set it up for you. So she is the daughter of some famous Italian actor, and she's sent to this school by the Swiss Alps, some like girls boarding school. She likes to talk to bugs, and bugs seem to like to be around her. Now, outside the school, there's a series of murders going on. Donald Pleasance is in a wheelchair, and his nurse/assistant is a chimp. And he studies bugs. What are they, ichthyologists or something like that? Or maybe that's a fish people. Anyway, he has written a book how he thinks that bugs communicate psychically, and maybe there's a psychic connection between Jennifer Connelly and all the bugs. And together,
Of course.
they're going to solve this crime and the best part is the bugs know more than anybody else. The last 20 minutes of this movie are so jaw-droppingly what the fuck. I almost jumped up from my chair and just gave it a bravo. It has an ending. Like I described it to everyone in my family and they were like, mouths dropped open and either couldn't stop laughing or were just like, holy crap, I have to watch this. So it also stars, she was in all of Argento's movies and she was married to him, Daria Nicolidi, and they were getting divorced while they were filming this movie.
Oh,
might
fun.
Explain some of the choices he made in this.
Why she was getting stabbed in the face over and over.
But dude, just think you have boarding school, Donald Pleasance in wheelchair, chimp, bugs, psychic bugs. I mean, and it all comes together.
Checks a lot of boxes.
You guys have to watch this.
I've actually never seen it.
I hadn't either, and it's one of his bigger, more popular movies. So
I just
haven't
don't like
seen
Italian horror, so I just had never.
I hate it.
There's another one of his movies on Shudder that I keep meaning to watch. I can't remember what the hell it's called.
Tenebrae. Tenebrae is good.
No, it's
Good ending.
The Red movie.
It's kind of got pink in it.
Is he the one who did the Amazing Dracula?
It's one of the it's one of the mother ones. There's Suspiria, the Mother of Tears, and this one I can't remember that.
Oh God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So
Damn
Mother of Tears is one I want to watch too. I've heard bad things about it, but I'm really curious about it. But it's like $12 to rent it, and I'm like, no way am I spending $12 to rent it. So
my next one is going to be probably Cat o' Nine Tails.
Cat O' Nine Tails.
Cat O' Nine. But
hey,
dude,
by the way, you have a pretty badass Jason hat going there.
I sure do, man.
It's very nice. Very
That's
nice.
slick.
Mm-mm.
Did you get
Did
that?
you know how to choose them?
I got it at Spencer's Gifts, where anybody my age shouldn't be allowed in there, but I still go in and buy childish stuff.
Somebody follows you around when you go in there.
What the hell is this guy?
I've got a raven on a skull.
Oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that?
And the internet. I'll send
You
you
know,
the link.
but I've got my Reed Richards hair going.
I've got the Michael Chiklis before he turned to the thing going.
Oh boy.
What the hell did I watch? Oh, so Jason, I don't know how many Vincent Price movies you've watched in your life, but for me,
Just
I
the
have
tingler.
watched a lot of them, but not from start to finish. When I was a kid, the 4:30 movie on Channel 7 had Vincent Price Week, and they would show a bunch of movies. But between forgetting that it was on because I was doing homework or watching Batman or whatever, or my sister was hogging the TV, I saw only portions of a lot of these movies, or maybe I'd walk in on a Saturday and see the second half of one or something.
Yeah.
So I've seen parts of a lot of Vincent Price movies, but not a lot of the whole thing. One of the kind of ones that I always wanted to watch, but I never got to see the whole thing, I only would see bits and pieces of, was Mask of the Red Death, based on the Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Never seen that.
So I looked it up, and it's a few bucks to rent it, but I don't know how. I just like looked it up on YouTube, and it turns out you can watch it on YouTube. So last week I popped it in and watched it on my TV on YouTube.
How old is
Not
this?
the greatest. This is from 1964.
Ooh.
Roger Corman.
Yep.
This and there's another one are considered the best two Roger Corman, Vincent Price takes on Edgar Allan Poe. Although this movie goes way off of the book or the story of Mask of the Red Death. But this was the first time I ever saw it from start to finish. I always had my friend like told me the story of the movie. So he's like, oh yeah, there's this part where they go through all these rooms. There's like a white room and a yellow room and a black room. And so at one point during the movie, they're chasing like this guy in a red cloak through the rooms. I'm like, oh, it like just hit me like a memory sledgehammer. I'm like, oh, I remember my friend telling me about this. So I finally saw the Mask of the Red Death, which is basically very timely because Vincent Price is a Satan worshiping evil prince who has a castle where everybody lives in excess in the castle while the people out in the towns outside the castle are dying from a plague called the Red Death. And if you seek solace in the castle, you may get in or you may get shot at the door or sent back to die from the Red Death. But
like if you come to my house right now.
Exactly. But as you can suspect, perhaps the Red Death does get in. There's a big ball at the end.
One of the things, wear your mask.
One of the things that I kept expecting, though, was for the Red Death to show up with this ball with a skeleton face, and then it wasn't happening. And I'm like, did I watch a bad copy of this on YouTube where they didn't? And then I realized what I was thinking was there's a Lon Chaney movie where Lon Chaney dresses as the Red Death, but it's not the Mask of the Red Death. It's some other movie. I can't remember what. So it's a very famous picture of the Red Death, but it's Lon Chaney in something else. And
right.
I can't remember what it is. So I was like, oh, that's how clouded my memory is. But this is Vincent Price. It's really goofy. If I try to tell you some of there's a dwarf and a guy who dresses up like a gorilla and a bunch of other stuff. But so there's this one scene. I know I'm going on forever with this, but there's this one scene, very climactic scene, where Vincent Price is talking to the Red Death in this room, and the audio on YouTube just goes. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I watch it, and a few minutes after it comes back. So I'm like, okay, because I really don't want to bail on this. I want to see. So I see the end of it. I go back to YouTube. I find another copy of the movie posted, fast forward it, and watch that scene. So, so on my, again, like Citizen Kane, watching all of Mask of the Red Death was on my to-do list, and I got it done. Now there's a few other Vincent Price movies I want to go track down.
Well, you got to get Pit and the Pendulum with him and Corman and Barbara Steele.
I want to watch that. I want to watch Dr. Phibes.
Oh, I love the Dr. Phibes movies. I own them, so you can come over and watch them.
Oh, that's not. I know the second one is like on Prime, but I don't think the first one is. So
that's a wild. That's somebody. Didn't we do it on this show, or maybe we did it on Monster Men, where someone asked the movie that should be remade, and I said that.
Yes,
would love to see that redone.
So this is worth going back to.
It is if you're like. I think if Hunter had his daughters watch this movie, they'd be like, that was stupid. But you are a horror fan with an interest in going back and watching older movies. So for you, I'd say yes. But I'd say you have to be somebody who goes back and enjoys movies from the 60s.
It's paced like a 60s movie.
Yeah. One daughter would say this is dumb. The other, because it's Vincent Price, would just be enthralled.
Yeah. So, but they're all Satan worshipers in this thing too. So it's worth it just for that.
Like my kids. It's awesome.
All right. Put it on my watch list that I will never, ever finish.
Well, come on. What are we up to? Part 8?
Yes, this is the remake, Children of the Corn, the 2009 horror television film. I think it was made for Sci-Fi.
Oh, not Lifetime.
Mm-hmm. So Stephen King, I guess famously, or maybe not famously if you've never heard this. So if you ever read the story, the couple driving to get to Gatlin, however that, I don't know.
Gatlin. This is week 2 we've done this.
I've watched 8 of these movies. Still don't know how to pronounce it.
That's amazing.
The couple is arguing a ton in the car. And King wrote the first draft of the script for the first movie. And in it, apparently he had about 35 minutes of them arguing before anything happens in the movie.
Oh, good God.
The people who remade this thought, you know what? We're going to be true to King's original vision. So the two characters fight terribly through at least half of this movie, to the point where you just want them both to die.
I was going to say, you're not building any sympathy for anybody if you watch this.
No.
And if you've grown up in an abusive household, you're triggered.
I was about triggered to start drinking because,
Well, the wind blows in yours.
this was a
really.
good excuse to start early. How's that? Oh man, it is a very. It's like half an adaptation of the short story, half an adaptation of the original film. So it's like it's kind of got both going on. It did not. The acting is piss poor. 9 out of 10 actors struggle.
I like the way you said it. Piss poor.
The kid that plays Isaac, I'm just like, Jesus. He's too young, so he can't act. He's too young to be able to pull off the gravitas.
Right.
You know, that's kind of why
That is Isaac.
The gravitas of an Isaac.
Yeah. So I mean, he's spewing all these lines. These, it has like this religious. Everything he says has like these grand religious
biblical
tones.
thing.
Yeah, and it's just this little kid saying them, and he clearly doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's like 5. So,
Jeez.
Sounds like somebody talking about the coronavirus every night on a press briefing.
So they decided to give the main guy, he was a Vietnam vet, and he's having flashbacks at the end when he's running away from the kids in the corn rows, and he's seeing like Viet Cong, and he's seeing his buddies, and I'm like, what?
Why are they in the corn?
What? Like, so man, the first half, I was like, this is not good, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And then the nom.
Did anybody go, I'm a corn farmer, motherfucker?
It would have been nice because it would have been entertaining. Yeah.
Did they rope in a decent actor?
No.
This is the first one where they couldn't even get that.
I think because this is a remake by the Sci-Fi Channel, everybody was like, nah, I'm
Couldn't
good.
even get
They couldn't
Urkel.
get Naomi Watts and Michael Ironside back.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Urkel.
Eva Mendes, anybody. Just bring somebody back.
If Sharknado can do it, why can't Children of the Corn?
Yeah.
Al Roker.
Roker.
Seriously, and it was too slick. The first one is not a great movie, but it has that grimy quality to it
Yeah.
that makes parts of it still feel intense. And the way it's shot works, not in this.
Now that you mention this, I remember when Sci-Fi was promoting that there was a remake of Children of the Corn. And I think I may have seen like 5 minutes of it, but I at least remember the commercial.
I heard it and I canceled my cable subscription. So I could
Poke
avoid
my
it.
eyes out.
The
With a
shitty
corn
thing is,
cob.
there's a cool story you could build out here with this religion popping up in the middle of nowhere that's run by these kids. None of these movies do it worth a shit. This one did not explore it anymore. It's just, if you've seen the first movie, you've seen this with some non-flashbacks and some people arguing non-goddamn stuff.
Well, maybe the 9th one is going to surprise you.
I feel like it's turning around.
It's taken a turn. From what I've heard so far.
I can't wait to stop spending money on these movies.
Oh, man.
It's horrible.
See, that's where I drew the line. And God bless you, because it's great content for a podcast. First of all, it cracks me every time I watch some piece of crap movie that I'm like, the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm on a horror podcast. But the line like, I watched the 3 Omen movies and I'm very happy. I'm not paying to watch the 4th one. I'm like, no, put it on YouTube. I'll watch the worst copy, but I will not spend $3.
Jack will pull the ripcord. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm a sucker.
Well,
Who's a
because
hunter?
I'm inspired by you guys watching series, this is just a preview because it relates to the movie I'm going to talk about next. I'm going to watch the It's Alive trilogy, plus, which I didn't realize was a thing, the remake. So I have them all lined up because I bought an It's Alive t-shirt from Rotten Cotton or someplace like that. And I was like, you know what? I got to like watch all these again. So that's for next week. But this week is a movie that was inspired by It's Alive called The Unborn.
Oh,
It's an uncredited Roger Corman production.
Really?
Yes. And it stars Brooke Adams. And she is a woman who is trying to have a baby and she can't get pregnant. Her and her husband have been trying and trying, and they're going to try in vitro fertilization. And she has a friend who's like, oh, my doctor's the best. It's like he could get a polar bear pregnant with a human baby. So they take her to this special doctor who is played by James Caan. You all know who James Caan is, right?
refresh on my memory.
Return of the Living Dead, the Pathmark guy.
Oh, the Pathmark.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
Go, Jesus God.
So he is seeing James Caan as a gynecologist was very interesting. And there is no subtlety in his game in this movie. So miraculously, she gets pregnant, and this Lamaze class she was going to go to, she finds that all the women have like weird band-aids on their necks. And of course, things start to go wrong with the fetus that's inside her. And then it's a Roger Corman. I think it's 1990, 91. It came out. It feels on that cusp of 80s and 90s. I thought it was a really fun movie. It wasn't anything.
Is this the cover where it's like a monster, but it's like inside the fetus, inside like the
yes, there's a weird looking fetus inside, like this glowing placenta.
Like placenta or something like that.
Yeah. And look, I had to watch it. I mean, A, because it was related to It's Alive, and B, it had Brooke Adams and James Caan. That alone, I was in. And I kept watching, going, hey, maybe Brooke, you can't have that baby because you're too old. But, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want her to get her upset at me. So I just watched the movie.
very kind of you.
I was trying to be PC.
Nice.
So check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. Didn't cost me a dime other than what Prime costs.
I'm always down for some Corman movies.
Yeah. And I didn't know it was a Corman movie till it was over. I was like, oh, because I looked it up.
Okay. Ready or Not just came to HBO. So I was like, it's time to watch it again. So this is the second time I watched this movie. So I saw it in the theater. It was on my top list for last year. Was almost my number one movie. I think I didn't make it my number one, but was probably my sentimental favorite of last year.
Oh.
But I was very interested to see if watching it a second time, if it would go up, go down, or stay. You know how sometimes you see something and you walk out loving it, and a few weeks later you're like, yeah, maybe it wasn't as great or whatever. Let me tell you something. Freaking this movie holds up. And I think I laughed harder at stuff the second time in a lot of cases. So the good news for me is Ready or Not ages well and it improves on second viewing. So, and Samara Weaving, as we all know, hits a freaking home run in this, but you really appreciate some of the other characters now that you've kind of seen the movie and you have time to like let it breathe and watch the other performances and kind of look, what you're looking for in certain scenes. What's the name of the dude who was in Jennifer's Body who's in this movie? Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
He's just so great in this movie.
He's the best in that movie.
And the father is of the family, the guy who's like the clear and present danger bad guy. He's a bad guy in everything.
Yeah.
It's just great. So this was one of those ones that I was very, very happy that a lot of times I watch the movie a second time and it's fine, whatever. This one I was like, oh no, this one is like concrete one of my favorites. I love it.
I will tell you, I watched it 4 times.
Oh, good for you.
And
it
hasn't dropped off in my liking it at all.
I've watched it twice. It's one of those I have a feeling I'll revisit every year or two. It's just so fun.
I just kept showing it to other people, and you got to watch this movie.
I don't buy a ton of Blu-rays because I know there's going to be a day where I'm like, I have to get rid of all clutter, as I'm trying to do here with my CDs. I just started putting my CDs into boxes so I could free up
But
shelf
wait,
space.
what did you do with the 8 tracks?
The 8 tracks are in the basement in a special hermetically sealed. They've Bat Out of Hell, Barry Manilow's greatest hits.
Molly Hatchet.
But I think I might pick up the Blu-ray on this one if I can find it. You know, when
It's worth it.
when they come down and you're like, oh look, Ready or Not, it's only $7. Don't know.
When you always get the combo pack, it's always cheaper than just the straight up Blu-ray. I don't know why that is. I'm like, I'm getting more. Why is this costing me $5 less? But
Yeah, I don't understand that either. That's a weird thing.
speaking of getting more than one DVD, did you get Let My Puppets Come yet, Jason?
No, it's not here yet.
Oh, all right.
I'm very excited.
It's in transit. I was so happy. I opened up. I'm like, oh, that's right. I got a DVD and a Blu-ray. So
Nope,
DVDs
not here
coming
yet.
your way. Oh, God.
I will.
can't
I
wait for
will
that
say this:
episode.
watching that movie again, Samara Weaving has great comic timing, but when she needs to pull off drama or panic or everything she needs to emote, she crushes. Like really appreciate her as an actress in this movie. So
Yeah, she's killer. She's killer bee, man.
I hope she doesn't leave the genre for bigger things because she's killer.
she's on some new Netflix thing called Hollywood, so she may be leaving us.
No.
Mm.
All right, so I'm gonna mention the 2 Joe Bob movies because they were interesting. Did you guys watch?
So
I got 5 minutes into the first one, and I wasn't watching with you guys, and I was like, nope. And Cannibal Holocaust. I'm sorry, I'm spoiling. I've seen it before, so I'm going to watch it.
yeah, I almost made it through Dead Heat. Well, whatever, we spoiled that too. But I fell asleep. But Cannibal Holocaust, I actually want to watch him with his commentary. So I want to be like awake for that. So I'm saving that. And the stupid disclaimers.
The first movie is Dead Heat, and I am a massive fan of Dead Heat.
I don't doubt it.
I watched this for So Bad It's Good, and to see if it would be on So Bad It's Good, and I was just like, this movie's awesome. Like, this is not bad. This is just great.
Oh my God.
It's so ridiculous, but it's ridiculous on purpose. So, you know, Treat Williams, Joe Piscopo, a ton of zombies, animated freaking chickens and cows.
That animated that deli where all the stuff came out, that was a great scene.
Yeah, where the butcher is Sub-Zero from The Running Man, and
Yeah.
I've seen this movie at least 5 times. It absolutely cracks me up. And if you have not seen this, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
The way they end this movie is not the way normal movies end. You know what? This movie's 30 some years old. If you haven't seen it, plug your ears.
Basketball in it. Good Lord.
Plug your ears for 10 seconds. I'll be done. Every single character in this movie dies. Every single one. All the secondary characters, the main characters, everyone is toast by the end. That does not happen in movies. So,
No. Oh man, I wish I stayed awake now.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be able to watch it, and I ended up getting to watch it live, and it's just a freaking blast. Love it. So if you have not seen Dead Heat yet, popping on with Joe Bob, it is a good time.
No, I liked what I was watching. I was like, this is so stupid. But that's
so
what I
dumb.
want
It's
on his
so
show.
fun. Yeah, it's a great movie. I love it.
And then Cannibal Holocaust. Did you watch that one or no?
I did. I'll get to it.
Oh, we're gonna go around the block.
Yep.
All right. I watched Horror Noir.
Oh, I'm in meaning to watch that.
Yeah. The history of Black horror. It's on Shudder.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, you watched that, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it was a really good movie. At one point, I grabbed a pen and paper and I just kept writing these movies that I either wanted to rewatch or movies I'd never heard of. I'm like, man, I got to really catch these. I thought it was great. It was a good spotlight. I don't think enough, especially in the horror genre, is so white bread. But maybe not as much as we think when you look at the history here. Sometimes I think they were reaching for stuff to make a point. I was like, I don't really think that. It's like sometimes when I hear somebody interpret one of my books and tell me what I was thinking about when I wrote it, I'm like, no, man, I was like drunk on too much beer and just trying to bang out some words. So there are moments like that. I absolutely, it was Keith David and Ken Foree, because they have like people in there who are sitting in a movie theater, like watching clips and commenting on it. I could watch the two of this. I could watch Keith David all day and night.
Yeah. The two of them were the stars of the movie.
Oh my God. It's just, they were great. Rachel,
I just
True
watched
was in it,
22 Bridges and Keith David's in that.
Yeah, I wish that guy did more. He should have been a bigger star than he ended up being. And if you have Shudder, the good thing is there's a Shudder channel, like one of the sections for this movie that curates some of the movies they talk about.
Oh, cool.
So if you want to dig in a little further, you can just go pop right in there and watch them. So I thought it was really cool. And look, anything that takes a serious look at horror, because I think people tend to crap all over this genre a little too much. And it means something. I hate to tell you, but you know, when you have a genre that inspires conventions all around the world, practically every day of the year, I think it's touching people in a way that Jack doesn't touch people.
No comment.
I pretty much agree with everything you said. I thought they really stretched on some of the movies they were talking about, but the amount of good movies I got to add to my watch list that I'd never seen, it's worth it for that alone.
You know what just came to Shudder is Blackula and Scream, Blackula, Scream.
Get out of here.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
that's,
I watched those last year, but I'm going to watch them again. I love them.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, okay. Watching those soon. Maybe this week.
There's another movie that I'm not going to say the name of it. I'll probably watch it for next week. But it's a movie that I've had on my watch list for a while, but I never got into it. And they're adding it in June. I don't know when, if they did or not. But I was like, yes, I waited it out by accident. And
there you go. It pays the wait.
Real quick on Keith David. Was having dinner with my family the other day and was talking to my nephew, and They Live came up. And so I was like, have you ever seen They Live? And he's like, no, it's on my to-do list. Sounds like me. And I said, so you've never seen the fight scene? He said, no. So I was like, give me that iPad. And I pulled it up on YouTube. And so we just watched the fight scene. And so my father walks by and he's like, what are you guys watching? I was like, what the hell is this? He's like, oh, that's that wrestler guy. Oh my God. Yeah. It's like Roddy Piper. And so they watch it. And my father's just like, this is way out of his normal.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Cause it just kept going. And I turned to my nephew. I was so what'd you think of that? He's like, oh my God, that was awesome. So
I have to buy that movie. That's one of the few Carpenter movies I don't own.
I need to get one of those shirts. I used to have one. I don't know what the hell happened.
The Obey shirt.
Obey.
Yeah. I have a poster though, so I'll take it.
So earlier, Hunter, you mentioned Donald Pleasance. I watched a little known gem with Donald Pleasance called Halloween 2 from 1981. So I have not seen this movie in a really, really, really long time. I saw it a bunch of times back in the 80s and probably early 90s, but I haven't seen it in, I would say 1995, 97, something like that. I have not seen it since the 90s. But I have always liked this movie. I always thought it was one of the better sequels out there. I liked that it closed, it had a definite ending to it. I loved that it picked up right after Halloween.
Yep.
And basically, but I always thought it was subpar to Halloween. And watching it again reinforced this. I really enjoyed going back and watching it. It had all the highs and lows that I remember. Thinking, I'm like, this is a decent sequel that is nowhere near as good as the first one, but a decent sequel. They kind of waste Jamie Lee Curtis. She's in a hospital bed most of the time and drugged part of the time. So it kind of wastes her presence. And there's a lot of like unremarkable characters in it. However, the first 20 minutes of this movie is tremendous because it's right what happened. Michael Myers disappears from the backyard and now he's roaming around the neighborhood. And it was fun to watch this. It's the first time I've seen it since the new Halloween came out. So I saw where some of the tips of the cap from this, some things they took from this movie for that movie, and everything. So I stand by this. I really lost interest in, I don't consider Halloween 3 part of the conversation. It's a totally different movie. The Halloweens after this, I was interested in them, but they fumbled that storyline so much, and they were so much cheesier than the original that I always felt like Halloween 1 and 2 were my Halloween. Then the other ones, if they were on, I might watch them or something. But I don't even know if I saw a lot of the later ones. But this, and Hunter, I think you've said this before. I don't think you're that crazy about this movie. You think it's a little slow.
think it's boring as hell.
I don't think
the
it's
best
boring. I
part
think
is
there's a
the
slow part in the middle.
Mr. Sandman song.
Yeah.
Other than that, I didn't care.
I don't particularly like this movie either. I don't think it's boring. I just think it's not good. Like there's some dumb shit, like the shooting of the eyes and
There's an essence missing in it. And look, I own this thing on Blu-ray just because I have to. But I prefer like the first. The third is my second favorite, and the fourth, I actually like the fourth. Maybe I put the second one after that. I don't know.
I'd probably go 1, 3, 2. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a piece of shit movie. It's just, man, you watch the first one, then you watch the second one.
3 is just so different that if you're just talking about Michael Myers stories, you got to throw 3 out. If you want to,
never. It's a Halloween movie.
Okay, fine. I would take Halloween 2. I'd take Halloween 2 over Halloween 3 any day of the week. I think it's way better.
I'm not going to fight you over it. I'm going to respect your right to say that.
But like I said, I haven't watched this movie since the 90s, so it's not like I don't own it on Blu-ray. So for me to say I like it more than you do when you own it, I don't know where.
That was one of those purchases. I'm like, why do I have to own this when I don't like this?
I'm just happy. It was fun to go back and watch it. But for me, really, Halloween is the first movie, and then the rest of them I don't really care that much about. And then I enjoyed this reboot, and I think the reboot may be my second favorite out of all of the Halloween movies. And
I gotta
2
watch
would probably
that again.
Two and this are. But like I said, I'm not in any hurry to watch 2 again. It was just like it was kind of like watching The Omen 2. I was like, "Oh, this is a decent sequel. It's not nothing. I'm not nothing to write home about." But the thing was, Michael Myers was such a more serious, heavy character than like Jason. But in the sequels, Michael Myers becomes more and more like Jason.
Yep.
And loses sort of the gravitas and gets bogged down in the lore.
Oh, God.
Whereas Jason, they could basically
be
like,
sense.
Right. But with Jason, it was a much easier thing to write because all you had to do was be like, okay, camp. Somehow Jason comes back. No other characters really matter to them. Tommy Jarvis, to some extent, you know what I mean? Like
throwing Frankenstein references, Carrie, just have fun.
Yeah. So,
sorry, Chad.
Amen, Chad. So I was happy to go back and watch this, and I thought there was some pretty good moments. The hot tub scene.
That woman is enormously talented.
Oh yeah.
Distractingly talented.
Do you think she had those put in that hospital?
What a group of nondescript, uninteresting people, the characters in that movie. Like,
yep.
Yeah, that was.
But like I said,
I'll watch it come October, I'm sure.
See, I won't. I'll watch it again in 10 years if I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm probably done. I'm watching all these movies now with the intent to never come back.
Never revisit.
Speaking of movies I watch once every 20 years, I watch Cannibal Holocaust. I did not want to watch it, but my buddy Dave, I've been watching the Joe Bob stuff with, was like, what is this? I'm like, dude, no, I don't. I'm going to go to bed. He's like, no. So we watched Cannibal Holocaust. This movie is, I have not watched it since college. I watched it one time. It's a disturbing movie to watch, particularly back then when I watched a VHS tape. Just it's almost has the same thing as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre had. When you watch it on VHS, it looks like a psychopath made the movie.
Yeah. Should I be touching this thing?
Yeah, it feels like you have something you get arrested for.
Yeah.
In HD, it doesn't clean it up so much that it's not intense. I'll tell you what, I'm surprised saying this. This is a really well-made movie. The first half is 35 millimeter, and then the second half with the found footage is 16 millimeter, and it makes it seem grimy and and just the way everything's zoomed in super tight, and it's a disturbing film to watch. The animal deaths, as anyone who knows anything about this movie, if that stuff really bothers you, then this is not going to be a movie for you.
I like turtles.
There's a scene I watched this with Hunter at his house. We watched this together. And the scene with the tarantula, I just heard him and go, did they just really kill that spider? And we're like, I think they really just killed that spider. And then by the time you get to the turtle, I can't remember which came first, but
the tarantula is like the 5th animal.
Yeah.
They were already on a rampage at that point. Watching it with Joe Bob, I would highly recommend, because it's kind of the pressure release valve. If you're struggling with some of these scenes, particularly with the animals, the turtle, the pig, they kill a freaking monkey, for crying out loud. The dude is so funny. The turtle gets killed. They do the whole, where they're taking it apart, the shell, and it's long. It's overly long.
Yeah.
And
that's where I learned that turtles don't have little houses in there.
It's amazing,
didn't you
right?
think? Just like in the cartoons?
It cuts back to Joe Bob cooking turtle soup on the grill in front of him. He just is a super troll during the whole movie, and it's hilarious. But I learned a ton of stuff about this. The main guy who goes out in the Amazon looking for the lost crew is the main porn star, the male porn star from Debbie Does Dallas.
Get out of here.
I had no idea.
Oh, Hunter would know him by name.
Well, if I saw him from below the waist.
Yeah. Robert Kerman, who was
Robert
32
Freeman.
when they shot this and looked like he was 62.
Porn's a tough business, man.
So this movie's reputation is well earned. It still holds up to this day. It's one that I'm not going to watch again for probably 20 years, but I will say it is much better made than I remembered.
No, I agree. I think it is a well-made movie. And the funny part was they kept talking, like warning people verbally, and then they're putting up these things on this stuff on the screen. And my wife, because she woke me up and she goes, "You want to watch this?" I'm like, She's like, "God, we're a nation of pussies." And she sat there and watched the whole movie. And she's like, I don't get what everyone's getting crazy about. And she loves animals.
The animal kills aren't torturous, but if you don't like seeing animals get killed, you are really not going to have a good time.
It means you've never watched a nature show.
Well, that's probably a lot of people.
Hunter, if you want, I want to watch the Joe Bob version too. So I would Zoom with you one day if you wanted to do
that. Would be cool. Yeah, because I want my wits about me when we watch it again, because I want to hear what he says too.
I was the same exact way. First of all, I was really tired that night, and so I was dragging as it was, and so to stay up to watch it, there's no way. And I was like, no, I really want to see the Joe Bob parts of this too. So I'm looking forward to. This is the way. How often do you really want to go back and watch this movie? So this is a great opportunity to do it
every day. No.
It's, if you haven't seen it in a long time, this is the version I would recommend. It, like I said, he comes in at the right times, bunch of jokes, making fun of shit. And there was a whole vegan section that was hilarious. So it's worth it.
But this and Maniac are like perfect movies for him to dissect.
Blood-sucking freaks.
Yeah.
Good God.
Better Bobcat 151 says Jason is very informative, and I agree.
He meant Jason Voorhees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Watch this. Watch Cannibal Holocaust and then watch Green Inferno. So you can see it taken from a slick version and a dirty. You don't like that movie? I like that movie.
Meh.
I like cannibals.
I did not remember this. They say the Green Inferno in Cannibal Holocaust 5 or 6 times. I was like, oh, that's where he got the name. I didn't know that.
That's what made me want to see that movie. I was like, oh, Green Inferno. Are we done?
I got nothing left. It's like an hour in. Let's get to the main movie.
You got to get to the main. I forget what the hell the main feature. Oh yeah, the Wretched. Let's go to the main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
The Wretched.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what the hell was this movie about?
All right.
Actually, Jason did a really good sum up on his.
Actually, you did. Can you recall that?
You guys like the most ridiculous ones I come up with.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I'll try to remember what I said. A witch climbs out of a deer to possess a mom so that she can eat the neighborhood children.
Yeah, there
Something
you
like
go.
that.
That's it, man.
Bingo.
That's
On the
perfect.
nosy.
See, those of you who like bloody good horror but can't take schnars going through those long synopses, here we go. This is where you come for the quick and dirty.
The dumbest stuff we can think of.
So, who wants to go first? What'd you think?
I'll go. I took the wife and we went to the drive-in. It was like our first
that's right.
thing to do outdoors since we saw the thing at the Alamo like on March 3rd or something like that. So we went there. It was a perfect night, a little chill in the air. Place was packed. We went to drive-in we went to has 3 screens, and every screen was just book solid.
3 screens. Damn.
Oh yeah, this place does bang up business, and they kind of limited how many cars could go in, so we had to buy our tickets ahead of time and everything. So the movie starts, and it's the first movie. Invisible Man was the second one, and I forgot that when you go see horror movies, they're naturally dark movies, and in the drive-in when they started early before it gets really dark, you're going, what?
Oh.
I just hear stuff going on. So for the first like 20 minutes, I'm catching kind of what's going on, but I'm going, man, the sound design is great in this movie. Because when you're sitting in the car with everything cranked up, you could really hear a lot of what they've done with the sound. I got to tell you, we both really liked this movie. It's strange. It's maybe not, it's not going to be a normie's cup of tea, faux show. And I don't think this movie would have been out if it wasn't for the pandemic. I think this would have gone straight to DVD. But for a night out at the drive-in, cool horror movie. I actually heard people clapping when it was over in their cars and then howling. I don't know what the hell.
That's just people getting their frustration.
It was weird. There was a lot of howling at my back while I was waiting online at the porta potty, but I thought it was good.
How about you,
Nice.
Jason?
I liked it too. Tonally, it's kind of all over the place. It's, I don't know, part teenage drama, part creepy J horror stuff, but it all the mishmash that a lot of times wouldn't work for me. It clicked. I enjoyed watching it. I thought the horror stuff worked pretty damn well. There was some creepy body morphing shit that I liked. Some stuff is explained, some stuff isn't, and I kind of dug that too. Like just like how everything started is just like okay, sure,
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. If you're a 16-year-old kid, or however, I think he's 16, the main character, you're not gonna know what the hell's going on. You're just trying to kind of deal with it as it happens, and that's basically what this movie was. And I thought the characters were pretty good. You have the angsty teen who's a better person than his actions, and his father trying to deal with this bullshit.
Mhm.
But the characters were done pretty well. I don't have a whole lot of complaints. I don't know that this would make my top 10 list, but I thought everything in it worked pretty well. I was happy.
Well, I thought this movie was okay. I didn't think it was
There's
great.
always at the center.
In that, I think if this had just been a Shudder movie or a Netflix movie, I'd be like, oh yeah, you should check this out, definitely. For something that I pay-per-viewed, I think I would have preferred to see this at the drive-in. But just like to rent it and watch it, I was like, it was okay. I thought there was a lot of great creepy moments in it, and I thought it was fine. I actually disagree with you on the characters, though. I thought that there was a little bit of wooden acting. I thought the main character was very unlikable and unremarkable. I thought he wasn't very well written. I never really believed that he was a kid saying the things that he would say in a lot of cases.
He was definitely unlikable at times, that's for sure.
You don't think he was a Vicodin stealing kid?
I thought he was uninteresting. I thought that kind of wasted him a little bit. I liked the girl, the girl that kind of liked him.
Mhm.
I thought she was probably the best thing in the movie. I thought the next door neighbor woman was pretty good. I thought the father was okay. So it was things like that. Like I said, I didn't dislike the movie, but I didn't love it. I just thought it was okay. But I kept thinking to myself, this is a kind of like a good teenager movie. This is a good popcorn flick. I think actually you could show normies this movie if hey, let's watch a scary movie. this has a kind of that kind of level. Like they would enjoy it
It's
and be
funny.
really creeped out.
You say a popcorn movie. I thought it dealt with a lot of really heavy stuff. And you got a wayward kid who's like, busts his arm trying to steal drugs out of somebody's house. You got the parents going through divorce. He's dealing with how do you accept watching dad mess around with another woman. He's got the hormonal things. You've got children being eaten. There was just so much weird stuff in there. I thought it was there was a lot going on in that movie, I thought. And it's funny because I saw the drive-in, but now I have to watch it again because even when it gets darker out, you still can't see much in a dark movie in a drive-in. So I'm like, I have to watch this again because I want to see the things that I missed. But I actually
think you should. You should, because there's a lot of cool visuals in it that you'll want to go back and check out. Because the creature in it is great.
Dude,
Yes.
The sounds, what movies were the sounds? Those sounds were coming from, what's it in Signs?
Oh.
Like it was making a combination of like a couple of different movie monsters. I was like, oh man, I've heard that before. That kind of like gurgly clicking. I'm like, that's usually aliens.
I think I'm probably a little closer with you, Jack, than maybe I made it sound. I did like this movie a lot. Like I said, it's not going to make my top 10 list, but I enjoyed it. But my favorite part is not that long, and it's when the neighbors, the neighbor is possessed. Her acting as a possessed person was killer.
Mhm.
The part where she's on the other side of the screen talking to the main character is just money. I could watch a whole movie about that. Like that was so good. And then it just kind of flittered away into other stuff. But I thought that was super money.
That was my favorite scene too.
I was first upset because I liked her character pre-possession so much. I was like, this is one badass character. I mean, what mom picks up roadkill deer and just guts it in the driveway? I was like, this woman is cool. And then she wasn't that woman.
So I guess we should talk about how the witch enters the scene. This is what first act stuff. They bring a deer home, they hit in the car, and she decides to gut it and then just gives up because that's what you do when you're gutting an animal.
Well, it was also really gross, right?
It stunk.
She
She
I don't
cut
want to
it,
go
like
into
black goo comes out of it. So.
I don't want to go into the intricacies of gutting a deer, but
She did
not
it
know
wrong.
what she was doing. I'll put it that way. But when the witch just climbs out of it, or demon, or whatever the hell it is, climbs out of the carcass in the middle of it, I'm like, what? What the hell is going on? And then it just goes from there.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked it, actually. At first I was like, what the hell is this shit? This doesn't make sense. But then I kind of dug that.
Yeah, it was gross and goopy, which
It
I
was.
always like that. I always appreciate gross and goopy. Give me those 2 G's.
And that's it. That's what made it like I said, it's like a fun horror movie to watch because the creature effects were so good in it, and there was a lot of that goopiness, and there was good eerie parts, like when the kid is in the woods and he hears the mother voice coming out of the tree and things like that. Good creepiness. I'm sure if I was 10 years old watching this movie, I'd be terrified by this movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Or if you were the babysitter in the beginning, didn't go well for her either.
To be a little picky, I thought maybe they could have cut out some of the teenage boy trying to fit in with the other kids stuff.
Yes.
That whole party scene you probably could have gotten.
Yeah, you cut that out, you save 10 minutes of the movie, and it seems to run faster. I thought maybe that was going to go somewhere with the witch.
That scene didn't drive anything home to the movie at all.
And they just kind of let those bully teenagers fall off the map.
Yeah.
That was part of my problem with it. I was like, well, maybe they should have focused on the relationship with the other girl more and just gotten rid of that subplot or made it a lot smaller.
Which in the darkness, we thought the girl who got him in the pool was the girl who liked him.
Yes, they're very
I couldn't
similar.
tell they're different. And
They were pretty similar, yeah.
I'm like, why would she do that?
You're like, this movie's stupid. If you cut out all of the bully stuff, like those characters entirely, the movie would be better off for it because it just doesn't lead anywhere.
And that's what I was talking about. That's where it lost points with me, was I was just like, the writing on this isn't very good. And like I said, if the lead character had been a little bit more compelling, but to me, like for the burden he was carrying with his past, I didn't think that kid was carrying the weight of that role very well. I thought he was kind of cardboard.
I thought he was uneven. Sometimes I thought he was better than others. Sometimes it looked like he kind of checked out, and sometimes it looked like he was committed. I don't know. Well, he's young, you know.
It did seem more. He seemed like more of a wholesome kid than maybe the character he was playing.
Right.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Hey, but even those good-looking white kids can do bad things.
I feel like we're hitting the point where we need to just spoil the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, because I have a question to ask for this.
Spoiler bell has been rung. If you don't want spoilers, see you next week. Share our link. See you later.
Okay. They killed a baby in the very beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
And never got it back.
Nope.
And everybody lived
Like I said,
happily ever
popcorn
after.
flick.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, is that baby dead? And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, when the blood starts running out from under the crib, I was like, what? Holy shit.
They went there. So right off I was like, all right, I'm in. You've got creature coming out of a carcass, baby dead. Sign me up. Here we go.
Yeah, I like that because it was kind of a no holds barred thing for the rest of the movie. If they're going to kill a baby, everyone is up for grabs, and pretty much everyone is up for grabs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did want to ask you guys the twist when you find out the main character has a brother. Did it take you a little bit to be like, what? I don't, it took me a second. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Oh, and I'm like, okay.
I know. Actually, for once, I was pretty quick on the uptake because I was like, oh, that's right. Because you forget about your siblings. This thing makes you completely forget. I thought that was a really awesome twist.
I did too. I like that.
I like that. I got it right away because they kind of.
But I didn't see it coming. I didn't see him having a brother.
No, I thought that was really solid the way they did that. I dug that quite a bit.
And then they went back to the scene when he walked in and the cops are there and talking to his father. And he was like, I thought I told you to stay in your room. And when it first happened, I was going, stay in your room. He just walked in from not being even in the house. Well, I was like, then it just kind of went over me. But
there's
then,
an extra place set at the dinner table.
Yeah, in retrospect, you go, oh crap, it was all there.
Oh, that's a good point. I should go back and watch that and see how much shit from the kid is there.
That twist is definitely one of the selling points of the movie because you don't see it coming. It's well executed and it adds that layer. And I'm watching Channel Zero right now, and there's a whole season with memory loss stuff going on. So I watch this right on the heels of that, and I'm going, oh, okay, here's another angle at this kind of thing. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Are you watching the first season?
I'm in the third season right now. So I've got
Butcher's Block.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a crazy one.
It's a good
show.
show.
I'm trying to save my opinion for probably in the next week or two. I'll bring that to the table.
Yeah.
But Hunter, I'll say this: good recommend on that one.
Oh yeah, you can't lose with that show. But yeah, The Wretched, man, I was so happy that it actually got a release and I got to go out of my freaking house and see a movie. So for that alone, I love it. And
let me say
around
this.
for The Invisible Man. We watched like an hour, and I'm like, all right, we have an hour and a half ride home. Let's get out of here.
Oh yeah, jeez. I will say this. I'm saying like I would have preferred it on Shudder or something. However, the lack of things to watch, like if you're home and you've got cabin fever and you need to watch a new release, go ahead and pay for this movie to watch it. I'm just saying, like, it had this shown up as a Shudder or Netflix movie, I'd be going, "Oh my god, you guys, we got to watch this. It should be a main feature."
Yeah.
Right.
It's the direction you approach a movie sometimes affects the way you think about it.
Oh man, there's so many movies where I've either liked or disliked just because of the circumstance surrounding me that day, and I watch it again and I'm completely a pull of 180.
We can tell.
So I would recommend it. I would recommend it, but I like Jason. I think Jason, you nailed it perfectly. I would recommend it, but it's not going to probably not going to be on my top list.
Yeah, super cool stuff in it. This is, if you're a horror fan, this is a good movie to watch. I mean,
yeah,
I dug it. And I'm kind of finding it interesting. I was looking up the box office. It's made $840,000 roughly at drive-in theaters because of this situation. Is it maybe making more money than it would have otherwise? Because I don't see this getting released in theaters.
No, I think
Right.
this is a drive-in phenomenon right now.
So good for them.
Yes.
Yeah, because also you're not paying full price at drive-ins, and like we paid $12 for a double feature, so they're making a cut of $6.
To pull almost
look-
$1 million at drive-ins is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that there's a bunch of young horror fans or fans who stumble upon this, and maybe this is one of their gateway movies into being a horror fan. So I think good addition to the genre.
Yeah. And
And
can
but-
we get the mother in more movies, horror
Yes.
movies? Because
yeah, she was.
goddamn,
awesome.
is she good?
She was
just-
awesome.
When she leaves the screen door and is walking back to her house, her like arms are back behind her and they're still as she's walking. I was like, that is a bad motherfucker walk right there.
That scene was evocative of kind of those body snatcher movies and the good vampire movie where somebody's turned, so it's somebody you love or you knew, but now you know that they're on the other side, and
Yep.
that there's this thin barrier between you and them.
Right.
So good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's good
telling you.
shit. She was amazing. I'd like to see her in more stuff.
It's on my top 13 list right now. That doesn't have 13 movies, so we'll see how it ends at the end of the year.
That's exactly what I say. It's probably not on my list, but sure, it could be. Who knows?
Yeah. Look, it's better than most of what I watched last year.
Listen, I'm going to say this. That movie, The Platform, is
Yeah.
a better movie than this, but I probably enjoyed watching this more than The Platform.
Oh, I'd watch this again.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I
I
mean?
completely agree with that. The platform's probably better made. This is more enjoyable.
So
It's more what
if
It's
it's
more what a
between
couple
watching,
of dumb guys are looking for.
right, if I'm looking, if I want, if I'm going to say watch The Platform for free, what are you going to do Friday night? Should you watch The Platform or rent The Wretched? I'd say rent The Wretched,
There you
but
go.
then definitely watch The Platform, and then yell at me for being unintelligent.
You won't feel wretched if you see the wretched.
Hmm?
How about that?
You're so smart. You should write.
These guys are on my list right below Spank Bang. Thanks, Sober and Silly. Couldn't be above, below. I don't know if I want to be below a Spank Bang.
It doesn't sound great. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I don't think I like it.
Not without an umbrella.
Need a mop.
Okay,
We
sounds
need to
like
mop
we're
where
ready
they
to
were
wrap.
in these trying times.
Next week, one
Wait, we're-
bedroom,
One bedroom, or
I like it.
as the movie says, one BR.
one BR, one bourbon, one scotch, one
One
BR.
beer.
Oh,
Followed
good to
by
your final
one,
guys' homework, everyone.
one BM.
But that's next week, so we'll watch that movie. But in the meantime, please share this link, retweet us, help support your podcast. That's all we ask.
That's right. Because if you don't, we're only going to do this for 10 more years.
That's right.
If you support us, 11 more. If you don't, just 10.
Fair enough.
Okay, well done. Good to see you guys.
Always
all
good
next
to see you. God bless.
Yes.
See you Friday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there. We'll be there.
Everyone watch Joe Bob, please.
He's coming back. Don't worry.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.